Canelo Alvarez tells the truth about Terence Crawford, and Terence Crawford gets in his feelings about it. Canelo said other than Earl Spence, he ain't really beat no real good.
While many in the boxing community continue to express serious doubts about Terence Crawford's chances against Canelo Alvarez, particularly because Crawford has never fought above 154 pounds, Crawford himself has been relentlessly pursuing this challenge for months. Despite the weight discrepancy, he remains undeterred. Now, thanks to the behind-the-scenes efforts of Saudi boxing power broker Turki Al-Sheikh, it appears the long-awaited showdown is finally set to take place this September in Las Vegas. It's not just another super fight, it's a clash of legacies that could redefine modern boxing history.
Is it official? Is it official?
It's on, baby. September 13, baby. Look forward to it. Crawford versus Canelo.
Who heard it?
Listen how I said it.
Hey, are we getting this confirmation?
The already simmering tension between Crawford and Canelo has now escalated dramatically, reaching a boiling point during a surprise encounter at an airport. Both fighters happened to be in the same location for a scheduled meeting with Turki Al-Sheikh, and what started as an ordinary moment quickly turned volatile. According to eyewitnesses, Canelo fixed Crawford with a cold, dismissive stare and remarked that Crawford didn't belong in the super middleweight division. Crawford wasn't having it. He immediately fired back, slamming Canelo for manipulating fight conditions in past bouts. The exchange quickly turned heated, teetering on the edge of physical violence.
Stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost. You know, so let's not do that.
Things got even more intense when the verbal clash suddenly became physical. A slight shove escalated into Canelo landing a swift, calculated punch to Crawford's chest. The strike wasn't wild, it was deliberate, sharp, and full of intent. People nearby sprang into action, jumping between the fighters to prevent things from spiraling out of control. Security quickly intervened, ensuring no further blows were exchanged. But the damage was already done, the fight had taken on a personal tone. Canelo reportedly brushed off the altercation with a smirk, muttering that Crawford was too small to be worth his energy. Crawford, meanwhile, didn't let it go. As both men were pulled apart, they continued trading insults. Crawford accused Canelo of ducking real competition, calling him a cherry picker, while Canelo told his team, he doesn't know what he's getting into, he's going to get seriously hurt.
The biggest fight in the game.
Yeah, I mean, like when you're looking at Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, this is the next thing.
Crawford's frustration toward Canelo hasn't been limited to just verbal spats. He's long been annoyed by Canelo's dismissive attitude and criticism of Crawford's resume. Now, even his longtime trainer Brian "Bomac" McIntyre has joined the conversation, targeting one specific sticking point, the controversial rehydration clause. Canelo has been accused of including such clauses in past fights to gain an advantage by limiting how much his opponents can weigh after the official weigh-in. However, in this case, Crawford's team says they won't be asking for such a clause, and they don't care if Canelo comes in heavier. "We're not worried about that," McIntyre said confidently. "There's a limit you shouldn't cross, but if he does, that's on him. Terence isn't concerned about it, and neither am I." Canelo was the one who said he wanted this fight.
Oh, that's 2 more weight classes. Like once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo, he's going to slow down.
McIntyre doubled down when asked directly by the ring whether they'd push for a rehydration clause to level the playing field. "That's BS, it's for wimps," he said bluntly. "This is real boxing. If you make weight at the weigh-in and agree to the fight, then it doesn't matter how much you put on afterward. Get in the ring and handle your business like a man. That's what this sport is about." Crawford, meanwhile, remains laser-focused. He believes greatness is proven by stepping into uncomfortable territory. To him, the weight difference is just another narrative to overcome and one more opportunity to show the world what true champions are made of.
Eso. Venga.
When people tell you that you're too small, that you're outgunned, that you don't belong in the ring with someone, those are the moments when the greats rise, Crawford told Boxing Scene. Interestingly, the only fighter to have faced both men is Amir Khan, a former unified super lightweight world champion. Khan moved up to middleweight in 2016 to challenge Canelo for the WBC title and was brutally knocked out in round 6 after a promising start. 3 years later, Khan fought Crawford at 147 pounds and was dropped early before losing via 6th round TKO. Now, the paths of these 2 pound-for-pound elites will finally intersect, and according to Khan, there's still someone else he considers the hardest puncher he ever faced.
Crawford could beat him, because Crawford is a big 147 fighter and is strong as well, which a lot of people don't give him the credit for. I think that fight, if it does happen, as long as Crawford stays away and just...
Speaking on the Ahat Live podcast, Amir Khan didn't hesitate when asked who hit him the hardest throughout his career. Marcos Maidana, that guy was an absolute beast, Khan recalled. I beat him back in 2010, but I honestly don't remember the first round of that fight. It was just a blur. I had to watch it back on TV to even remember what happened. That fight had everything: speed, power, intensity. And Maidana? He hit like a sledgehammer.
Exactly what he's gonna do to him.
No, facts.
Years prior to him dropping him, he told Errol Spence on video, he said, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna show you.
Khan elaborated further, saying that Maidana's power was unlike anything he had experienced. It wasn't just sharp or stinging, it went through your body. I've been knocked down by punches I barely felt, but with Maidana, even a shot to the ribs felt like your bones were cracking. He had ridiculously heavy hands. Without a doubt, he was the hardest puncher I've ever fought. That December 2010 war ended in a unanimous decision for Khan, helping him retain his WBA super lightweight title in what's still remembered as one of the year's most thrilling fights.
Get his big bank and get out. His big bank is who? Canelo. He will take that gamble, see if he can beat him. If he beats him, he may go fight Benavidez next. If he don't beat him, he say, okay, I took it as high as I could go. I'm done.
As fans look ahead to Canelo versus Crawford, many are hoping this upcoming clash lives up to the fight of the year expectations. One person watching closely is Errol Spence Jr., who's already shared the ring with Crawford. Spence has acknowledged that Crawford is taking on a massive challenge, physically and strategically. Canelo has built a legacy on overpowering larger opponents, making Crawford's move up seem even riskier. But despite these concerns, Team Crawford is firm in their belief that Terence has the skill, IQ, and mentality to flip the narrative.
Hearing that right, he wants full smoke at that way.
Let's go, man. That's what Crawford wants. He wants to show the world that he's the best. So why put stipulations in there when you know that you can beat him?
Canelo Alvarez is infamous for his suffocating pressure style, consistently pushing the action and breaking down his opponents with body shots and relentless pace. He's taken bombs from heavy hitters like Gennady Golovkin, Sergey Kovalev, and Dmitry Bivol and still kept coming. On the flip side, Crawford has never faced that kind of sustained power over 12 rounds. Critics argue that this difference will be the deciding factor. But Crawford's team pushes back, saying that raw power alone doesn't win fights. They believe Canelo has shown visible signs of slowing down in recent bouts, declining explosiveness, reduced output, and fading stamina.
There's nothing Crawford brings to the table Canelo hasn't seen. He's seen his boxing ability, he's seen speed, there's nothing that he don't have. He's seen Mayweather, man, he's seen Lara, he's seen all these guys, man. Nothing he brings at a smaller weight too coming back up. Now let's switch it to the other side. Has Crawford seen any...
Crawford's camp specifically points to Canelo's fight against Jermall Charlo, where despite facing a naturally smaller, overly cautious opponent, Canelo was unable to secure a finish. They also cite his performance against Edgar Berlanga, a fighter with limited boxing polish who still managed to have moments of success against the Mexican star. For Team Crawford, that's a red flag. If Berlanga could touch Canelo, they argue, then Crawford, with his elite ring IQ and precision, will find plenty of opportunities to land clean, damaging shots.
Makes me laugh with all the antics that Canelo is doing and saying in the media and whatnot about the size and he won't get no credit and all this type of things, but Canelo been fighting.
Crawford is known not just for his physical tools but for his psychological warfare inside the ring. He systematically breaks down opponents mentally before finishing them physically. His ability to adjust on the fly, switch stances fluidly, and find holes in any opponent's defense is what sets him apart. While Canelo is a counterpuncher who relies on his timing and defensive brilliance, Crawford's unpredictable rhythm and constant angle changes could be the very thing that offsets Canelo's timing and comfort.
Canelo, based on last fight, is a 50-50. So Canelo fights an undisputed champ, up-and-coming former champion, and an up-and-coming undefeated contender. And somehow those three last opponents are somehow compared to Bud's Madrimov fight, making it a 50-50 fight.
However, Canelo's most diehard fans and supporters push back against this theory. They argue that Crawford has built his reputation fighting smaller men, fighters who lack the physicality and durability needed at the elite level. They claim Errol Spence, his biggest victory, was clearly weight-drained and flat-footed. And while Crawford outclassed fighters like Sean Porter and Kell Brook, none of them possessed the devastating power or defensive polish that Canelo brings to the table. For Team Canelo, the belief is simple: once the first bell rings, Crawford will realize he's entered a completely different arena.
In my weight class is an easy fight for me, easy money. So if the money is right, I'm in, because you know I don't like to fight guys.
Another major talking point is experience. Canelo has fought the absolute best: Floyd Mayweather, Gennady Golovkin, Miguel Cotto, and many more. Even in defeat, he's learned, evolved, and returned better. In contrast, some argue that Crawford has never truly been tested to that extent. But McIntyre rejects that idea, stating that Crawford's dominance shouldn't be seen as a lack of competition, it's simply a reflection of how exceptional he is. "Why go to war when you can win clean?" he said. Terence hasn't had to dig deep because no one has pushed him there yet.
Like you said, I will give you Terence Crawford for being an out. We can't, because he's that good of a boxer. We can't forget Canelo is getting his score.
Outside the ring, the trash talk and mind games are already at full throttle. Canelo, usually calm and composed in the build-up to fights, has shown an unusual level of disdain for Crawford, mocking his size and dismissing his challenge. Crawford, however, has clapped back at every opportunity. He's feeding off Canelo's arrogance, believing it will be the very thing that causes his downfall. During a private meeting with Turki Alalshik, tension crackled in the air. Witnesses say Canelo smirked and brushed past Crawford, prompting Bud to whisper, "Laugh now, cry later."
You know, that's what everybody want to see. The only way they can be answered is if me and Canelo is in the ring and we fight.
Another layer of intrigue surrounding this bout involves the judging. Canelo has long been accused of receiving favorable scorecards in close fights, leading many to speculate whether the outcome of this super fight could be influenced outside the ring. Crawford's team has been vocal about this concern, making it clear they have no intention of letting the fight go to the judges if they can help it. Their strategy seems to revolve around an aggressive start, testing Canelo's endurance early and keeping the pressure high. Adding even more complexity to the narrative is the presence of Turki Alalshik. While some fans believe he favors Crawford due to his support of underdog stories, others insist that Canelo, as the more established global icon, remains the real financial draw. No matter where loyalties lie, both fighters are keenly aware that the business of boxing can be just as brutal and decisive as the fight itself.
Boxing, you know what I'm saying? And Terence Crawford is a legend. He's great. He's a great fighter. The only thing I see that favor Canelo is that, you know, is his weight.
Yeah.
And that he's more bigger. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. But as far as skill set wise, IQ, I feel like Crawford can match anybody. Probably.
One thing that keeps Canelo's camp up at night is Terence Crawford's mindset. Historically, Crawford has thrived in situations where he's doubted or underestimated. The more people write him off, the more focused and lethal he becomes. That underdog mentality fuels him, and his team knows it. Insiders suggest that if Crawford can keep the action in the center of the ring, his quickness and timing could allow him to pick Canelo apart over 12 rounds. But if Canelo is able to trap him on the ropes and deliver his trademark bodywork, it could drain Crawford's legs and slow him down in the later rounds. It's a high-stakes chess match, one that will be decided not just by strategy, but by grit and will.
I can't go down anymore. But you know, like he say, you know, when they ask him for the Germonta fight, they don't wanna get credit for that fight. It's the same for me. I don't need to take that fight because everybody's gonna say they stood.
Regardless of who wins or how it ends, this fight is about more than just belts or pay-per-view numbers. It's about legacy. For Canelo, the thought of losing to a smaller fighter could leave a permanent blemish on an otherwise stellar career. For Crawford, a win would instantly catapult him into the rarest tier of all-time greats, elevating him to legendary status across multiple weight divisions. Both men have refused to back down, and the intensity has only grown with every public appearance and interview. When the talking stops and the first punch is thrown, the world will be watching, because no matter what happens, this fight will go down in history.
Terence Crawford, I see he wants to fight, he's made it clear. Do fights like that help your legacy, or do you feel like that's something that's not worth it to you?
Everything in my career, every fight make my legacy different and better.
Adding more heat to the fire, Israel Madrimov, who once went toe-to-toe with Crawford in a grueling battle, recently gave his thoughts on the mega fight. Known for his candid and unfiltered takes, Madrimov didn't mince words when asked who he thought would win. His prediction took many fans by surprise. Despite Crawford's elite skill set, Madrimov predicted a clear winner, Canelo Alvarez. His rationale boiled down to one key factor: weight class. Canelo will win by decision, Madrimov told Boxing News, suggesting that the jump in weight would be too much for Crawford to overcome, no matter how talented he is.
The Sheik said that he would be willing to pay whatever you want to fight Crawford. Yeah.
If he's willing to pay whatever I want, hands down.
That'll work. So if yeah, you're in. So if
Madrimov's opinion sparked plenty of backlash, but he stood firm in his belief. He argued that even with all of Crawford's accolades, moving up 2 weight classes against a seasoned veteran like Canelo was simply too big a leap. It's a different kind of fight, he explained. Crawford is incredibly skilled, but Canelo has been operating at this level for years. His body is built for it. That size and strength make a difference over 12 rounds. The comment added another layer to the already fiery debate, drawing fans from both sides into endless arguments online.
I'm not even a fan of that fight. They're too many weight classes apart. And although the skills, Crawford is one of the best fighters that I've seen. Now,
Canelo's reputation at super middleweight only strengthens Madrimov's point. As a multi-division champion with a history of dismantling larger and more physically dominant fighters, Canelo has proven time and again that his power translates across weight classes. He's known for being durable, strategic, and devastating when he senses weakness. While Crawford's skills are undeniable, critics point out that his experience in higher weight classes is minimal. That unfamiliar territory, combined with Canelo's power, could pose the most dangerous challenge Crawford has ever faced.
Keep bringing up Canelo. I think that's weird, because you got to gain 20 pounds. Yeah. But they say that's the money fight. That's the mega fight. That's the money fight. That's the only thing that makes sense for Terence Crawford.
Well, catch what? You can do something.
But not everyone agrees. Jaron Boutsenis, another rising star and highly respected boxer, called the fight a 50-50 affair. In his view, the outcome depends entirely on how Crawford adapts to the extra 14 pounds he'll be carrying into the ring. He's never fought that heavy before, so we'll see, Ennis said. He could be a little slower, or maybe he keeps his speed. We won't know until fight night. Ennis's balanced take offered a refreshing contrast to the polarized opinions swirling around the matchup, suggesting that both men have paths to victory.
Able to land the Canelo Crawford fight, which was announced. I don't know that it's actually official, but it sounds.
The weight gain for Crawford is one of the most talked about factors leading into the fight. Known for his agility, footwork, and reflexes, Crawford's entire style hinges on being faster and more efficient than his opponents. But adding mass could affect his quickness, especially against a fighter like Canelo, who thrives on applying constant pressure and cutting off the ring. On the flip side, Canelo's versatility at 168 pounds is part of what makes him so lethal. Whether he's outboxing a slick fighter or trading inside with a brawler, Canelo has proven he can adapt to almost any style.
Canelo fight, realistically left your mind once he said he's not interested, or you still pursuing it?
Not at all. I think business talk.
Yet, despite all the praise Crawford has received throughout his career, Canelo and his camp remain unimpressed by Crawford's resume. In a recent interview with TMZ Sports, Canelo acknowledged Crawford's talent but downplayed his list of victories. "I respect him, he's very talented. but let's be real. He's only won one big fight, Canelo said, referring to Crawford's dominant performance against Errol Spence Jr. Other than that, he hasn't beaten top guys like me. Canelo's statement was a clear attempt to diminish Crawford's momentum and reassert his own standing as the sport's top dog.
You know, to fight the best fighter in my generation that's out there. You know, he's the most accomplished fighter, and I would just like to, fight another great.
Which is a very noble reason. I mean, it's a...
Canelo's comments, while controversial, reflect a broader narrative that he and his team continue to push, that Crawford's success, while impressive, hasn't come against truly elite, battle-tested fighters. By suggesting that Spence was Crawford's only major win, Canelo's camp hopes to plant seeds of doubt in the minds of fans and analysts. For them, it's not just about Crawford's skill, it's about whether he's truly faced the same level of opposition that Canelo has consistently overcome for over a decade.
He can go in there and get those belts real quick. That's what he thought with Bivol. Otherwise, he would have never did that. I mean, the Kovalev fight...
I'm sure that's what Jermell Charlo thought with Canelo.
Ultimately, it's not just the size that gives Canelo an edge, it's his ability to close distance, apply pressure, and force his opponents to fight his fight. Crawford is a master of controlling space and dictating the tempo, but against Canelo, he won't have the luxury of doing things on his own terms. One of them will have to adjust. For Crawford, the test will be maintaining his sharpness and lateral movement under the weight of a constant assault. For Canelo, it's about proving that size, power, and experience can overwhelm even the most skilled technician. The questions are many, but the answers will come soon enough. Let us know your predictions in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for full coverage leading into Fight Night.